Who can tell me what part of speech ich is? What do I mean by part of speech? What does that mean? Nick?
It's like the well, part of something that you say.
Yeah.
It could be the subject.
It's a job. It's the job of the word in a sentence. So what does the subject do? So you said ich is the subject. Right. What does the subject do? What's its job?
It's like the main part of the sentence. Like there's part of speech, right?
It's controlling a sentence, right? It's doing what? What do we call this?
Doing the verb.
Which is what?
Action.
Exactly. You're exactly right. So the verb, we have subject, verb. Verb is the action. Subject's doing the action. And then here we have time. This is a time reference in der Nacht. All right. Time can be a specific time at 5 o'clock, at 4:30. It can be on the weekend. It can be in the fall, in the winter. All right. Anything that references time, we use a T to represent that. And so we're going to use a nifty acronym. Here I only have 3 elements though. I only have 3 parts of speech. We're going to put one more in there. So I have subject, verb, time. What does anyone know what part of speech these would be? So I'm going to say ich schlafe in der Nacht. I need to change the sentence so that we can have one of these. So let's do ich esse am Morgen Frühstück. Does anybody have an idea what this part of speech is called? And if you don't, it's okay. We don't really talk about grammar a lot in school anymore. It used to be a big thing. We found that it's not as necessary to learn how to read proficiently and write proficiently. Talking about dissecting the sentences and different parts of speech doesn't play as much of a role as we used to think it did. But we've talked about it a few weeks ago. Anybody remember the direct object? The direct object? So the direct object receives the action. That's its job. So I pick up the marker. I'm the subject. I'm doing the action. The marker is receiving the action. It's being picked up. Ich esse am Morgen Frühstück. I eat in the morning breakfast. The breakfast literally receives the action that's being consumed by me. And so we just write an O for object above that. So our acronym is SVTO. Statements have to follow our word order in German. And if we start the sentence with a subject, the verb has to come next. All right? It must come next, subject, verb. And then time, and then object. And that might sound strange to us because in English we say it a different way. How would we say this sentence in English with all these elements?
I eat breakfast in the morning.
Exactly. I eat breakfast in the morning. And that's grammatically incorrect in German. If you went to Germany and somebody asked you, and I don't know why they would ask you when you eat breakfast, but say, for example, they asked you when you eat breakfast, and you said, I eat breakfast, ich esse Frühstück am Morgen, it would be perfectly fine. They would know exactly what you mean, and they would understand it, and they would understand your pronunciation, I'm sure, because you all have great pronunciation, and it would be all good. But you would sound a little bit funny to them because it's the wrong way to say it, and they're not used to hearing it that way. Although we're used to saying it that way and hearing it that way, they're not. They grow up saying it with this word order, so it would sound funny for them. They would know that your native language isn't German. Again, that's perfectly okay. When you go to another country and you speak a language, that's awesome, and that's like what people appreciate in another country. So, we're just, for our sake, in class, we're learning the right way, the right word order to say it. So, ich esse am Morgen Frühstück. Then there is another way we can say a similar sentence with another useful acronym. And so I'll grab my other ich. Actually, let's just use meine Familie for our subject. Meine Familie. Or sorry, we're not starting with that anymore. We're gonna start with the time this time. So am Abend ist meine Familie Abendessen. Abendessen. Meine Familie ist am Abend ist meine Familie Abendessen. So if I was going to put my acronym on this sentence, what would go where? What letters would go where?
So
Sure.
X would go over meine Familie,
Ja, richtig. Sehr gut.
and then the V would go over ist.
Ja, das ist richtig. Wunderbar.
T over Erlangen.
Sehr gut. Und?
O over Abend.
Yep. Very good. So just like in English, I can start a sentence with time. I can say, in the morning I eat breakfast. Or after school I'm going to play video games with my friend. Or this weekend I'm going to the swimming pool with my parents. Right? So you can start a sentence with time just like you can in German. But there's a specific word order that's attached to that sentence. So time must be followed by the verb. And there is a reason for that. The verb in a statement always has to take the second position in the sentence. It always has to take the second position. So because I'm beginning the sentence with time, I have to reverse my subject and verb. And so we go verb subject in this case. Time, verb, subject, object. So the two acronyms, if you can get used to saying in your head, SVTO, TVSO, SVTO, TVSO. And we're going to be working with word order, through now with the units we'll be looking to do through the end of the year. In those units, we'll be adding word order so that you get used to that. All right. So I'm gonna leave those on the board. Oh, wir haben nur 5 Minuten. Dann spielen wir ein ganz schnelles Gimkit. We'll just play a quick Gimkit, okay? And that will end our lesson for the e-learners. Thank you very much for watching. Und genießt deinen Tag. Schönes Wochenende.